My name is Juliet Freund, and my poster is titled Investigating the Role of Irisin in Exercise-Induced Stress Resistance. So as you may know, anxiety and stress-related disorders affect a really large part of the population at some point in their lives. So it's really important to figure out new treatment options that may be helpful in treating these disorders. One current treatment is exercise, and it's been shown to help both rodents and humans with these stress protective benefits. However, the mechanisms involved aren't really fully understood, but we do think that there is a potential peripheral factor here. This study specifically is looking at irisin, which is a protein excreted by skeletal muscle during exercise, and has been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and contribute to these cognitive benefits of exercise. However, we are looking specifically at, in this experiment, whether or not irisin alone is sufficient to produce the stress protective benefits of exercise without exercise being present. So for the experimental design, we took male mice and injected either irisin or GFP as a control into their tail veins, and then left them for 6 weeks, which is the same amount of time we would use in an exercise study to let them exercise and get the stress protective benefits. After those 6 weeks, we either put the mice into a stress or no stress group, and then performed the stress procedure on the half that were in that group. Then 24 hours after that, we did behavioral testing, which consisted of juvenile social exploration and shock elicited freezing to see whether or not the irisin gave them any stress protective benefits. So results for this, the juvenile social exploration and shock elicited freezing, we saw a difference in the mice that received irisin and were in the stress group. So we know that peripheral irisin both prevents social avoidance and prevents freezing after stress. And then in terms of blood and liver irisin analyses, we do see that there was an increase in exogenous irisin in the mice that received the irisin injections. So we do know that they had a high enough level to produce an effect. And then we also made sure that there wasn't any kind of toxicity in the liver to make sure that the dosage wasn't too high. And then we also see in the graph on your right that the irisin levels were the irisin virus was able to produce irisin in the blood as well. So all of this to say, it does look like peripheral irisin injections are sufficient to produce the stress protective benefits of exercise. So that's a great place to start. Future directions would be to use irisin knockout mice to see if irisin is necessary for these stress protective benefits, and then also I believe my photo is covering it, but this would be a really good basis for clinical trials of some kind of irisin supplement, whether that's a pill or an injection as well in humans, to see if it produces the same effect. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and